The recently concluded Paris Olympics demonstrated the majesty of the human spirit and the wonders we can accomplish when working together at the peak of our abilities. When the games ended, I was unexpectedly emotional, really heartbroken that every 2 years, countries otherwise at the brink of nuclear war come together to celebrate one another's athletes and, through them, each other's cultures. Then, when it's all over, they go back to fighting as if nothing ever happened. While the competition is stunning, the goal of the Olympics has always been peace, at first among the Greeks and then later internationally. The Olympics were created in the 9th century before the Common Era, when 3 Greek city-states, Elis, Pisa, and Sparta, agreed to provide a couple weeks' respite from their constant fighting. During the Olympic truce, athletes and spectators could travel freely throughout the area. After the Olympics, though, fighting resumed as usual. But that fact, that for a couple of weeks, everyone put down their arms, set aside their differences, and enjoyed friendly competition. Then, when it was all over, went back to killing the very people they were just calling brother and sister. That devastates me. And it hit me particularly hard after Paris 2024 because we're guilty of that same wretched sin. The Olympics prove that nations working together can achieve astounding results. Paris was a masterpiece of international cooperation. So why do we let it end? Why not continue channeling that Olympic truce energy towards solving global problems like access to food, housing, education, and healthcare? And since we're no longer ancient Greeks but citizens of the globe, why not use this Olympics momentum to agree that the state exists to serve human dignity, not the other way around? That simple attitude adjustment would positively transform our world overnight. In ancient Greece, 3 kings got together to end their wars, at least for a moment. In 2024, over 200 nations, technically 206 national politically autonomous committees, worked together for many years to organize the Paris Olympics and keep all the venues running safely for 2 weeks of friendly competition. Imagine how quickly we could provide everyone with basic housing, healthcare, food, and education if our countries worked together on those needs as effectively as they do for the Olympics. Like most people, I wept my way through the spectacular Paris 2024 opening ceremonies. Not only because they were an emotionally compelling deconstruction of France and her and all national stereotypes, and a mind-blowing, near seamless blend of pre-recorded and live material, but also because there is some aspect deep in my soul, maybe it's bleeding into me from a parallel life, but something within me is deeply French. My heart sings every time I hear La Marseillaise. Though that's possibly because I've watched Casablanca one too many times. Still, because of my sort of French connection, I began the games a bit of an emotional wreck and I've never really fully recovered. I watched as many events as possible and I had Peacock's fantastic multi-view coverage on, at least in the background, for many days. Now, I know a lot of people did that, but for me, this is really unusual behavior. I am not a sports nut. I've been a Formula One addict since childhood, but that's because cars and noise and engines and speed. But Formula One's about it for me in sports. While I've enjoyed previous Olympics, I've never been as sentimental about the games as Paris 2024. My romanticized notions of Paris and my past have much to do with that. Still, as the games ended, I started to understand that my love of these Olympics was not only because of Paris and France, but primarily because they brought this war-torn, smack-talking, disrespectful world together for a few weeks of peace, love, and mutual respect. Together, the world watched athletes from every nation who've dedicated their lives to being the best human they can be. For a couple of weeks, we watched those athletes win, lose, and either way, cheer each other on in the spirit of friendly competition, whether they're from Afghanistan or Zimbabwe. In Paris, I saw athletes from every country rooting for one another, even coming over and congratulating each other after wins. I've since realized, though, that these young men and women spend a lot of time together throughout the year. I mean, they see and compete with each other all over the globe. Many of them are not merely friends or competitors, but extended family. I watched live as Simone Biles and Jordan Childs bowed respectfully to Brazil's Rebecca Andrade, who endured unbelievable hardship to win the gold medal. This scene might be the most significant moment of any Olympics. It shows the respect we need for each other, humans acknowledging our mutual excellence, even the most accomplished among us humble enough to give someone else the props they deserve. In Paris, the whole world demonstrated how well we can work together if we honestly try. Even North Korea showed up to the Olympics. Only Russia and Belarus didn't attend, were not allowed to attend because of their aggression in Eastern Europe. Aggression the civilized world will no longer tolerate. At least, not at the Olympics. It's a start. I'm struggling with the fact that while the Olympics reveal humanity's oversized heart, wars continue raging in Gaza, Ukraine, Africa, and elsewhere. Every continent represented at the Olympics is embroiled in warfare. North Korea is threatening to nuke the whole world, and we're all struggling with internal violence, whether from drug cartels in Mexico, bullet vending machines in the US, and yes, that's an unfortunately real thing, racial strife in Great Britain, or ethnic cleansing in Asia. The world is still far too violent and far too fearful. Yet, even amidst the terror, we can create something as compelling as the Olympics. It's too bad we don't declare truces the way the ancient Greeks do. Why don't we take a page from those ancient Olympics and declare an Olympic truce and redirect all of our warring energies toward creating a more encouraging world? Let's help not only our athletes, but also our ordinary everyday people travel and learn about each other's cultures. Let's break bread with new people. War is born from fear of the unknown and the idea that the others are coming to take my stuff. Travel, and a more fluid notion of my stuff, eradicates fear of the other and reveals diversity as humanity's true beauty. There is nothing and nobody to fear. We're only afraid of each other because people frightened of losing their power tell us to be afraid of each other. If we want to change the world, we're going to have to do it together, Olympic style. I used to think a Star Trek-styled commerce-free utopia was merely the stuff of science fiction, but after seeing what we can pull off together in Paris, I think there's more hope for humanity than I've given us credit for. I mean, consider this. No matter the host city, the Olympics require years of international planning and cooperation. Since we alternate Winter and Summer Olympics every couple of years now, there is continuous negotiation and planning. Delegates from every country work out all the details for their athletes and the other aspects of the games. In Paris, it all came together flawlessly. I say we put these envoys in charge of world peace. I suppose that ultimately utopia takes time, but I hope the 2024 Olympics encourage us and our leaders to spend some more time thinking about how we might carry the spirit of the Olympic truce into contemporary geopolitics, turning the respectful, supportive world exemplified by the athletes in Paris into our permanent home instead of just a place we visit every couple of years. Until then, though, and to help light the way, I'm glad we'll always have Paris. Amen. Our question to discuss today is how we might actually carry the torch and build on the Olympics' world unifying momentum. How might we carry this torch and maybe build on it a little bit for a change? I'll send you into breakout rooms for